Rabbi Twerski, when you say in this step, writing on your talents, you say, I'm working on this particular midah, or I like myself more when I do this. How does that help develop self-esteem?
Well, I think you make your list, journalizing, right? And make a list of both things. I like myself most when, and I like myself least when, right? And then later on you look at the kind of things that you've written down. What is it that you've found that you liked yourself, and then capitalize on those and do more of them, right? And I like myself least when, then to find out how can I get rid of those things that cause me to dislike myself. So again, our tafkid is, the Gemara says it so beautifully, that a person who observes Torah and mitzvahs properly, right, nasa shutaf la'kodesh baruch hu b'masa b'reshis, becomes a partner to Hashem. Right? Why? Because becoming a mensch is something that Hashem, I won't say Hashem can't do. You can't use that expression, right? But Hashem doesn't do the completion of the person. That is something that the person must do by oneself, right? And that's why when a person does it, right, he or she then becomes a partner to Hashem, right? And that is a tremendous step to feel I'm in partnership with Hashem. Right? By the way, there's a story. One of the tzaddikim who heard that there's a person in this town who gives out brochas, and all of his brochas are fulfilled. So he was curious as to who is this great tzaddik whose brochas are all fulfilled. So he went to meet him. Turned out that he was a very average, simple person. And so he asked them, what is it that you do that merits that all your brochas are fulfilled? So he says, look, I was in business and I was doing very poorly, and my wife said to me, go and get yourself a partner and go into a partnership. That way you won't be able to, you won't have to do it you carry it by yourself. So I started looking around for a partner, but I didn't find anybody I could really trust. Then I finally decided the only one I can trust is Hashem. So I said, Rabbanu Shalom, I'm going to a partnership with you. Right? And I'll put away half of the earnings. Right? I'll divide it in half. Half of the earnings go to tzedakah. So you're my partner. Right? So that's what I've been doing. Whenever I make a deal, whatever the partner is, I make $20, 10 goes for tzedakah. I give it to my partner. And he says the halacha is that if a partner makes a decision, the other partner has to live by it. Right? That's the rule of a partnership. Right? So in as much as I made a partnership with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, when I give a bracha and I say, this Hashem has to fulfill it because we're partners. So if a person can have a sincere partnership with Hashem, right, the person has enormous powers of his brachas being fulfilled. And when they say, "Nasa shutaf la'kodesh baruch hu," that we become a shutaf with Hashem. How do we become a shutaf with Hashem? Because Hashem has created us as animals with potential, right? And we become a shutaf when we help him with the nasa odom. And if we develop our midas to become a true mention, right, then we fulfill the nasa odom. We're a shutaf to Hashem. And if you become a shutaf to Hashem, you have enormous powers. Because the shutaf has to do has to live up to any kind of commitments that you make.
Step number 8, Rabbi Twerski, you say is that Hashem has given me the right to enjoy the world. How does that affect our self-esteem? How does that attitude of positivity, enjoyment, gratitude affect our self-esteem?
First of all, we have to be very careful, because we got the idea from some Bali Musa that in order to be a really true Shem Torah mitzvahs, you have to flagellate yourself, you have to mucha yourself. And the Mesilas Yesharim takes this on in his introduction, and he says people have the very distorted ideas of what Chassidus of what it really means to be a chassid, to be a pious person. Right? And then going to breaking the ice and going into cold mikvahs and fasting. He says it's absurd. And he attacks it very strongly. He says those are irrational ideas of Chassidus. And he goes on with his 10 steps as to what Chassidus is, and it ends up that his idea of Chassidus is development of midas. But the mistake is that we walk away thinking it's not right to enjoy things. Right? I said, why is it not right to enjoy things? Right? I just went out on Chodesh Nisan and saw a fruit tree blossoming, and I made the bracha, and the nusach of the bracha that we say, Baruch Atah Hashem, who's created beautiful things and beautiful trees with which people can take pleasure. So we made a bracha that Hashem has created the world to give us pleasure. And the Gemara says in Sof Kedushin that a person will be held responsible for everything that he saw that was pleasurable and he didn't partake of it. Now the only thing is, you have to enjoy life like a man, not like a behemoth. Right? And we have to make a balance of that between that and between the Ramban, where the Ramban says, Kadesh atzmcha b'mutalach, that you don't have to use everything just because it's permissible, right? Because the person can observe kashrus and be a glutton and be a fresser kashrus. Right? So it's a question of setting limits and of propriety, but not to deny oneself the pleasures that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to enjoy the world that He's given us. You know, if you've given somebody a gift, and it's a very precious gift, and you find out that he doesn't use it at all, right? Or that he's using it for some totally inappropriate purpose, right? It bothers you. You know, you gave the gift, you wanted the person to enjoy it and to use it. Hashem has given us such great gifts, right? And we're supposed to take advantage of them, and we're supposed to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu and appreciate that He's given it for us. Right? And so when we've done this, right, we're enjoying things like a mensch. Right? And this is part of Nasa Odom. Right? And we're grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for it. Right? And it's tremendously important to have gratitude, because gratitude is one of the pillars of midas, of hakoros hatov, of appreciation of what Hashem is giving us. And we say with our brachos, 100 brachos every day, of thanking Hashem. And we ought to feel good when we've done it. Now, not that we ought to feel good and saying what kind of tzaddik I am, right? But feeling good that I've had the opportunity to do what Hashem has told me to.